guys, I'm Nell.
And I'm KJ.
And we're the hosts of Millennial Talk. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Talk. We are here today with Naomi.
And Courtney.
So today we are going to be talking about prejudice versus preference. So understanding the difference between someone having a preference for something versus someone being prejudiced. And I think oftentimes, in my experience at least, when someone has a preference for a certain type of person that they like if they like white guys, they like Hispanic guys, they like tall girls, they like short girls, whatever, people were like, oh, that's prejudice, or that's racist, or that's, you know, not sexist, but whatever. They put like the is on the end of some word and call it that, when it's like, you can have a preference without it being like an issue. And what made me think about this was during the R. Kelly thing, during his the little 6-part movie thing, whatever, his brother, the one that was in jail, said something, like what he was saying was not right.
It was all,
but this moment, this particular moment, what he said, I was like, I feel that. Because he said something like, some people like young girls, you know, I like older women, like, not saying that liking young girls, that's not a preference, like that's illegal. But the point he was trying to make, that like, if that's your preference and that's your preference, there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with that concept, just not as it pertains to little girls. So what are you all's thoughts on that division or that barrier, that difference between those two things?
I feel like and I don't know how it is in the other communities, but I feel like in the black community, if you like a different race, it's a whole problem.
Oh, it's like
black
in a lot of communities.
Yeah, but I mean, true, but like black people, oh, you like this, like it's a black man, oh, you like this white woman, it's a black woman, oh, you betraying us, I thought we were your black queens, what happened? And then this whole thing, it's like, but can I just like who I like what's the issue? Like why I gotta be in there? People like, and then if you don't, for example, I like tall guys, but I also like different races. So then somebody be like, I don't think it's fair that somebody's like, oh, you like a tall guy, that's fine. But then somebody's like, oh, you like a white boy, oh, you're racist, you don't like nobody else. It's like, how's that right? It's my type. Like, you can't tell me, like, you know what I mean? It's like,
sorry, not so. I really don't know what, because like, I have received so much criticism for the record. I like white people, but like it's just like it's not.
You didn't know.
I don't know why in particular. My grandmother married a white man. Maybe that has something to do with it. But they're just like, I've never understood the backlash. I think it's just because I've never. I don't know. I think it's because people assume that you think of like an other, like, I guess they think that I think of like black men as like lesser, and that's not at all what the problem is. I don't see that at all. It's just for some odd reason I like what I don't that's know.
Like you can't control what you like or what you're attracted to. Like it's not like you wake up and you decide, okay, I'm gonna be attracted to this type of thing for now on. Like you like what you like. Like it's just like with food. Like some taste good, some don't taste good. Like you might like a certain type of food that I don't like, and you know, vice versa.
Like, do I judge you for it?
You can't control that. It's not something that you actively can like control or do anything about.
I think a big part of it is also your experiences. Like my friend Chris, he said, like, we were having a conversation on my back porch, and we were all talking about like, have you ever had sex with a black woman? And have you ever dated a black woman? Have you ever dated a white woman? All these different things, and then they were like going in on him like, how come you've dated a black woman? Why are you like still want to date a white woman? Well, his entire life he went to white schools. He grew up with white people, so it's just like that's what he's used to. No matter, he grew up in a black home, but it's like he grew up around that type of community. So for him, it's normal to be interested in a white girl because that is what that's what he was exposed to at a young age, and that's what he's always liked. Like when he thinks of himself with someone, when he thinks of a relationship, he sees like, you know, a white person. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I had the opposite experience. I was raised surrounded by black people, but like I was bullied for most of it, and the first friends I made were not black. So it's just I just veered into that community, and then puberty hit, and then I just was like, oh.
Usually we associate ourselves with like when we have our positive experiences. If you have a positive experience with like a certain person, a certain type of person, you're going to want to be around that type of thing more. Not saying that all people are that way, because like everyone who has a certain type of experience, we don't necessarily think that everyone's that way, but we don't, like, we are just comfortable around these type of people. Not saying that Naomi, for her, not saying that some white people aren't going to treat her bad, because I'm pretty sure she's met white people who have treated her bad. But she, at this point in her life, it's just like that's what she likes because of, and I'm not saying that because of what happened to her as a kid is why she likes white people now, but it could be, you know, an aspect of that. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Like I can't even pinpoint like why I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. Like I can't say that I'm attracted to like white guys or Hispanic guys or like I just like things. I like people
Material items
that are like foreign or that like don't look like me. So like you could be like anything that's like not the same thing that I am, and I'll probably be attracted to that. Which I know doesn't really narrow it down, but it's like if you look like me, there's a good chance that I'll be more attracted to someone else, if that makes sense. But it's not to say that I would not date someone that looks like me, because my last 2 relationships, or maybe not the last 2, but I've had at least 2 relationships in my life where the people I was dating were like, you know, my complexion, you know, maybe my background, whatever. Yeah, so it's not that I'm opposed to it. It just I am naturally more attracted to people that are Asian or Middle Eastern or white or Hispanic or whatever like that.
Exactly. Like I see it. So all the people that I've dated have always been in racial relationships. I've never dated a person who was just full black. Never once in my life. And I never really saw an issue with that until I moved to a place where it was only black people. And they only talk about only dating black people, and they find issues with people who date outside of their race. And I never understood that, mainly because it's such a wonderful thing. Like there was this post, and it was like this meme. It was like, you know, interracial dating is cool and stuff because I can put them on to like seasoning and like dancing, and they can put me on stuff like hiking and snowboarding. And it's just
honestly, yes.
But it's like, it's honestly
like I would
true,
love
though.
for somebody to take me snowboarding. They don't gotta be a white guy. Like you could be any race. Like take me snowboarding. Like I want to do
It's
that.
just like it's like
Never been.
different cultures.
that post, that meme. Like people were like joking about it, but like it's real. Like
Yeah.
you get exposed
Like,
to so
I
many
felt
new
that.
things. Yeah.
You see so many different things, and
Yeah.
it's like you don't know that you
don't know
don't
what you don't know.
enjoy it, and then you go in there and you're like, oh, this is so.
But going back off of what you said
Exactly.
about how you were around certain people who like had a whole offense about it, I call those the fake woke people because they be the main
Fake woke
ones.
people.
They be the main ones that's like,
All of
oh,
Twitter.
you stop it. All of the people who be like, oh, you messing with such and such, you messing with such and such. Oh no, you're not with your people, you're not with your people. But then I feel like I'm like, don't go back to that slave mentality where, oh, you messing with the white man. Oh, it's a problem. You mess with somebody else. You must not like your people. Come on now, it's not that deep.
I think it's not that. It gets deeper when you see it with, it's like they are like a black person is dating a black person, but this black person is slightly lighter than that person. You still hear it
Yeah.
out of like, so it's just
It's like, how come you don't like dark skin?
so it has like it's just like
It's like
can
an
you
end
chill?
of race.
Can you chill?
You can't win regardless.
Unless I say somebody that looks exactly like we have to go to Sephora and get our skin tones matched up.
But it will have to be like this neutral 420.
Wait, you the same color? You gonna be like, y'all siblings? And then oh, it's a whole nother thing.
Then now you looking like now y'all related.
And it's not even like that with just black people. With like with white people, I've heard, oh, he only dates blondes, or like, oh, like you only like redheads. It's just like, okay, like.
I just don't think it's
Sorry.
a problem with having a preference or being drawn to a certain thing when it's something that's not in your control. Like you didn't
But
wake up and decide you wanted to like blondes.
I
Like, you
think
just
the
do.
biggest issue with people not like having issues with other people having preferences is because their preference is not them. And I think that's the biggest issue. It's just like if I talk about, Nami, how come you don't like black men? And probably because I want you to like black men so you can like me. So it's just like,
It's like an insecurity because like it's
Well,
like it's
I
like
never thought of it
insecurity.
like that.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
definitely
either.
what it
I'm
is.
like,
Because I think you kind of touched on this earlier, but it's an insecurity because you feel like if you like this type of person and I'm not that person, then I must be lesser than.
Right, like I said
Because-
something about you somehow.
Yeah, like I've somehow offended you and made you feel like you're beneath this type of person because I like this and not you. So it's
Yeah.
like it's like hitting a nerve or like, you know, touching on that.
and you're not doing
insecurity.
it on purpose.
Yeah, and it's like you got to get over that. Like I can't
fix
control
that for you.
Yeah, like for the longest time, I always tell people, because my stepmom, she asked me all the time, how come you don't date black women? And I'm like, I've tried, like I've tried, all turn me down, but women who are not black are always interested in me. They're always interested in me, and I'm okay with that. But when I date them, then it's an issue. And it's just like, okay, well, you date me? No, but some black women
That's
will.
what I'm saying. It's really interesting that you just brought that up because that just made me think about. There's somebody that I know that like only dates like white guys, and I remember it was me and her, and we were some guys, and they were all black. And when they found out that she like pretty much only dates white guys, they had an issue with that. But what I thought was weird to me was that it's like you have an issue with the fact that she only dates white guys. But if she did date black guys, you wouldn't date her anyway because you don't like her, you don't think she's cute or whatever. Like
You're not interested
it's
in
like
her.
why are you mad? Like you're mad that she don't want you, but you don't want her either. So like have a seat. Like have a seat.
Let's face it, that plot twist, you don't want me, so what's the problem?
Right? Like I don't understand.
What's the actual issue?
People just want to have something to talk about.
Yeah,
I
and,
really feel like that's the truth. That statement right there, people just want to have something
and
to
I think
talk
like
about.
that's honestly what keeps us divided as a people. Period. Like because someone doesn't look like you, it's weird. And I think our minds are always like they were like trained to be that way. And it's like, oh man, like for me, even though like I date outside of my race, I still find it like I still get a big shock. I'm like, oh my god, a white person and a black person together, or a Hispanic and a white person, or a black person and an Asian person together. Like it's just like it still mind blows me, even though like I do it and I'm used to it. It's just like, oh wow, there are other people in the community who are doing this as well. And it's just like I don't know, like I love to see it, but it's still like shocking to me. And it shouldn't be shocking. It should be like they're just dating another person. That's just what it should be.
2019 should just be the new normal.
Yeah,
I
but
just don't like the
it's
fact that people make it
crazy.
feel like it's an issue. Like I know somebody, there's a particular person that I can think of off the top of my head where anytime there's like let's say it's Ross Lynch or let's say it's Ian Somerhalder or somebody comes across the TV screen, somebody's on the cover of a magazine, they'll look at me and be like, oh, you like that, don't you? That's what you like.
I
And
used to
I'm
get
like,
that all the time.
like first, like it could be
All
somebody
the
I've
time.
never even seen before, somebody that I don't think is cute. Like just because you're white doesn't mean that I think that you're cute.
Because now
Yeah.
So it could be like an unattractive white person or an unattractive Hispanic person or whatever, and they're like, oh, you like that, don't you?
You probably like, yeah.
Like what? No,
Like, I
actually
ain't
I
even
don't.
look at them. What do you mean?
I still have a type.
I have no
Right.
idea.
There's a type somewhere in there.
Right, like that blows my mind. I hate
I'm about to say I
that.
have a type for every single race. I literally, down to a T, have a type for every single race. Like hair,
Wow.
hair, facials. Like I like facial hair. Like in certain things, the hair is more detailed than it's along with that. But like,
I never
She's
thought
like,
about it.
The parts that I'm
like a
attracted
shark.
to, I feel like I have like different level. Like physically, I'm attracted to different things.
She likes backs.
Yeah, like the
I
things
hear
that
it
I'm
talking
like
about all the time.
attracted to is like every person has. So it's really not a big deal.
see, personality.
It's just
I
like
know.
strange.
You know
but
what's
I don't
funny?
know.
When you
Like
said that she likes backs, I looked and I was like, that
No.
sounds really dumb. But then I thought about, I was like, well, I like arms. That's probably stupid too.
yeah, I'm like back is first, back and neck. I don't know what it is. If
For
I'm
me,
like,
it's arms
like,
and
ooh,
eyes.
you got like a long neck.
Like,
What's up with
Being
your giraffe?
friends with her for 4 years, she'd be like, oh, but his back. And I just be sitting there like,
I'm crying.
Okay, so my shoulders are broad, so it's like if I have like a little skinny shoulder boil, what am I supposed to do?
But I'm skinny.
Like I mean, I do too,
I
but
love
there are
that.
still, trust and believe, there are still skinnies out there with wide backs. Don't worry about it; they exist.
I like my girl BBW.
But, like, it's just I don't know. I feel like I've also like grown up and out of what the norm is, because I mean like I said, like as I grew up and like was accepted more and made a friend group more in like this color, then I went to college and everything just explodes in college. So it's just like my perception has kind of changed in terms of like, oh, you like these things. Like I'm like, oh, I thought I was the only black person into punk music. Like no, that's not a thing. Like you're not the only person into punk music. That you meet a Nell, and then like Nell introduced you to other people that like. So it's just like you just
And-
network a little bit differently as you grow up. So then like I think that like your attraction can certainly like change. I think it was always in you. It's just like what you based it on is more. You're more aware of what you actually based your attraction on, as opposed to like hormones pounce. Like it's just.
I think that your environment, the things that you like the things that you like, the kind of music you listen to, the kind of movies you're
Attracts those type
into.
of people.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's one of the reasons why I found myself more attracted to like white or like other races that weren't black. But I think that I spent more time around them. One, because my school was like that. Like the school that I went to was either like pretty much 50-50, or it was like more predominantly like not black. And when you're exposed to that kind of music, like I'm the only person in my family that listens to like rock and alternative and punk and all that kind of stuff. And my family is like, oh, like what is this? Like why do you listen? Like, they look at me like I'm crazy. And then they want to know like why I like am attracted to people I'm attracted to, but it's like they like the same things that I like. So it's not intentional, but it's like if I go to a show and these are the people at the show, or if I go to an event or I'm in a club and these are the people that are there, not a club like a you know, but like an organization, and those are the kind of people that are there because we have similar interests, then those are the people that I'm exposed to, and that's what I have to pick from. That's what I have to choose from. That's what I'm going to like. Yeah, that's what I'm going to like.
It's my roster. Everybody line up.
I always say I pinpoint, like you were saying, you can't pinpoint the first thing to ever stir like life in me was Jesse McCartney. Jesse McCartney rolled up on my screen.
Really?
Like that I fully and like can vividly remember.
See,
And it was but it was based more on his music than anything. Because like I watched Disney Channel and then you heard like I heard all his songs in the back of the Kim Possible, like get your shine on, and then you look it up. So like naturally when I get to a computer, that's what I type in is get your shine on, and then it's just this little white boy with blonde hair, green eyes dancing on the screen, and I'm like, this one. What's this?
And it's the same thing because like I think mine started with like Aaron Carter. Same thing with the music. I'm like, it's this little white boy.
Yes, like it just
I'm
bumps,
obsessed.
and then you look it up, and you're like.
Between Aaron Carter and JTT, like that was who I loved for like the first 7 years of my
And
life.
that you're at when you're like 11, 12, and like those are just like everything's just starting. You have absolutely no idea what's going on, and you're just like.
Mine started in kindergarten. Mine started in kindergarten.
Wow.
I had a boyfriend in kindergarten. I had a little boyfriend who used to, a little white boy. My mom used to, they used to laugh. My mom and his parents used to laugh because we was always up each other. We was always around each other. And he used to give me flowers every day. He gave me flowers every day, and he used to walk me onto the bus and everything. I was like little kid in love, like little kid in love.
Actually.
It started. That's where I started kindergarten. Everybody's like,
That's what I'm saying. It starts young a lot of the times. Like you don't even realize that. Like if you really think back. So like if you think about like what your type is and you think back, like you probably could figure out like where it started or where it came from. And for me, it probably started with like me being obsessed with JTT and Aaron Carter. Like Bow Wow made his way in there after the fact.
I've been
like,
watching this morning.
he got in there, but JTT and Aaron Carter was already there.
Like legit, if I ever met that boy again, he was fine.
Oh my gosh.
Marry me.
But like the music's just at the top of my list. It's like my life. It's my whole.
That's like one of my
existence,
first questions when I meet somebody is like what do you listen to? Like even if I'm not even like interested in dating you, I just want to know if like we could be friends. Like what kind of music do you listen to?
If I ever sit in your car and your aux cord is in, I am paying attention to the songs that go through, the songs that you skip, the songs that are just on your phone. Like I don't know why I'm doing it, but it's just like
oh no, I definitely pay attention to that.
Like it's just like because I'm like I know I want to continue my life in a house that's filled with music. So if like your music and my music can't even cross at some point.
Think about that.
Typically, I don't vibe in that way with African American men. I tend to click better with people that are from other races because they're more open to stuff. I feel like, again, this is all in my experience. I feel like black men tend to be a little more closed off and kind of just stick with what they know and are not as adventurous and as willing to learn about other cultures or see what else is out there. They're kind of just like, this is where I came from, this is what I know, this is where I'm going to stay. And I'm not trying to be like that. Like, I want to go out there and see the world and do stuff, and I can't do that if you're going to be closed-minded about it.
KJ, how you feel about what she just said? I'm just curious.
But I'm also like KJ.
Are you saying it because I'm a black man?
KJ's not a good example though because he dates outside of his. Like, yeah, you would have.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you have to sit somebody down that like.
I'm also not one who has. I've lived all over the United States.
Like
I've moved
he's
so
traveled,
much.
but they're just people that like I know. Like quite frankly, I'm like I get. Where I work, I get hit on by those type of men all the time, and I'm like, look at them, and I'm like, sweetheart.
Every time we go to Walmart,
I'm like,
get hit on by.
Stop Walmart?
Yes.
Like it happens. It's
Every
fine.
single time.
I accept it. I'm awkward. I don't really know what to do with it, but I'm just kind of like. But it's like in my head, I'm like, I'm not even going to waste my time or your time because once I actually start talking to you, you're gonna be like, excuse me, what? Like you're either going to get you're gonna be like you're gonna be confused or you're gonna like. Say something that like hurts my feelings because I have talked to black guys before and there was something that happened and it was like the first time I ever spent like the night over there and I woke up and like one of my favorite bands canceled their whole tour that I had tickets for and I was visibly upset. Like I was like very hurt by it on multiple levels because I'm like this was like one of the I was like I had third row tickets, I had VIP and like
and
even
for those
though
of you
that
who
was
don't
sad,
know, she's very serious about her concerts and her bands.
I'm so very serious about it. It's like my whole entire life. But like, so like, I was just like her. So it was like I didn't get to go, and he was just like, "Why are you so mad? You don't even know them. Like that's just dumb." And I was like,
Oh, that's weird.
like I was like, I was like, if I open my mouth and say something to you right now, your house is gonna explode. Like I was like, I could just burst into flames in your house right now.
It's like that's not
because
something
how
you
dare
should
you?
tell somebody.
How dare you? And at that point, I was like, oh no, I don't usually ghost people, but I left his house and we just never talked after that.
As her friend, I know, like, Naomi, I don't listen to any of this, like, I don't listen to any same music that they do, like, at all. Like, not saying that I wouldn't be open to it, but I don't. Like, if you look at my phone, you will not find any, what I don't even know.
Walking Moon, the main.
1975, pretty much.
You won't find bands on my phone.
None of them are there.
Period. But I will be open to listen to them. I will not be going to concerts with them at all. But all the time I hear from Naomi, oh my God, they took the tickets, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And like just what was it, last weekend or maybe the weekend before that?
Oh, we all bought tickets.
They all just bought tickets, and I know they didn't even think to ask me.
Because
But
we knew what was up.
I was
You weren't
saying, yeah, I would not come because they're talking about like, I remember they were talking about like a mosh pit for like another band they were at, and I'm like, I would never want to do that.
For the record, I don't mosh either. I know where they happen, but I don't get
wasn't
it.
prepared. I was not.
Like, I didn't even know what a mosh pit was until I met them, but it's just like,
I was you. It was right there.
You were in it?
Yes.
I got sucked up in it.
It's on videos on my channel. Clips of it are.
I was scared for my
I
life.
would never.
You would even if I catch you
Because-
cut that at a show of which it happens.
Yes, like Naomi learned very quickly. Like we went to 2 concerts together. The first concert, it was okay. I didn't really like it that much because there were like people,
Charlie Puth.
people were like bumping me and like people were like,
That's just concert
KJ
life.
likes Charlie Puth. KJ does not like general admission shows.
yes. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand is like you're gonna have a bunch of differences between like people, whether it's your friendships, your relationships, so on and so forth. And I think that's what I've like learned to accept. Like in all my relationships, we have never liked the same, all the same things.
And I
But
don't think that's ever gonna happen. It would
Yeah.
be boring.
Right,
It would be
right.
boring
Very
if it
boring.
did.
It's like you,
Exactly.
yes man. Everything's the same.
yeah, like
I don't-
we when we drove up to Pennsylvania for Field of Screams. I mean, you were like on and off sleep between them, but I'm pretty sure you heard like me and Andrew's conversation.
Country music happened, and I was like, what's
Because
going on?
we were listening to my music, and then I was like, Andrew, like you love country music. I was like, let's hear some country music.
That's
'Cause
what I'm
I was
saying,
like, I don't
being
know
open
anything.
to it, right.
Yeah, I was like, I know one country song, and that's I've Been Watching You by Rodney Atkins. That's all I know. I know every word to it, but that's all I know. It's not that I don't hate. It's not that I hate country music. It's just that I'm
You
not.
don't go out of your way to listen
Yeah.
to it. And that's fine.
And it's like it's just like with the I don't even, I said with your music. I don't even know what the music it is, but like
I'm all over the board.
with
It's
the
fine.
type of music you guys listen to, I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it, but I would listen to it
Right.
because I have found some songs that I really like. It's just like I'm not gonna completely shut myself off to it, and I think that's the difference between a lot of people. Like some people will shut themselves off, like. People who like predominantly listen to country are like, oh, I don't listen to rap because of this, and that. There's just like, but there's so many different like aspects to rap. Like you have like the what's the boy's name with all the colors in his hair? What's
Not X. The other one. I want to say
69? 69. You have like his type of rap music, and you have like J. Cole.
Right.
Like, J. Cole doesn't like rap about killing
Oh, I
people.
love J. Cole.
Like,
And that's
holding
why I
guards.
specified when I said that I don't
Like-
like rap or I don't like
Yeah.
trap. It's not that I don't like rap or hip hop. I don't like songs that, like I said, degrade women or have a whole bunch of stuff about like weed and sex and clubbing and money. Because it's like there's more to life than that. We shouldn't be putting that
Yeah.
in kids' ears that all that matters is money and weed and having
In
sex.
reality, country songs sing about that stuff too.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm
it's
saying. I
like-
don't like songs that talk about that. Like it's not just like I said, it's not just
Yeah,
rap.
and I
But
think-
that's predominantly where you hear it.
And I think that like people associate the music with the person,
race.
yeah, with
With
the
the
race,
race.
and it's just like you shouldn't do that because then that's how like all this like, oh, I don't want to be around this type of person
This
because
is white people music.
yeah, yes.
The amount of times I've heard that out of people's mouths, it's just
And
like,
you know what makes me so mad about that is
what
like
makes it- what-
when they
how?
put on
Right,
like,
right.
white people music, they automatically think, oh, it's like, oh, white people music. And you're like, I gotta do your fist pumping. And it's just like, you can actually dance to some of this, you know?
Right.
Because they have good beats to it. But
I definitely know somebody off the top of my. As soon as you said that, oh my gosh, somebody popped into my
because
mind.
you always, it's not like it's so, I don't even know how to like.
It's either,
just like
it's
a thing
either
that you've gotten
it's
so
white people music or you get the like, who is this? It sounds like so and so, and they'll say like a black person's name, and I'm like, actually,
Yes.
it's so and so, and it'd be like a white person, but like, oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I bet you didn't think that you would even like this. You didn't even give it a chance, but because you thought it was somebody else, now
wasn't-
now you like it.
right.
That blows me.
it's just that association. It's truly it's all just association. What you associate X, Y, and Z to, and I think that it's when it comes down to like if you're actually like prejudiced or not. I think the prejudice comes more when you're opposed to it. When you're out there and you're in there like, I'm just dating to date, and I like this type of person with this type of music, and like you just link things that way, and actually, like I say, I start from the inside out. Like all of the people that I've actually dated, it starts inside, and then I'm like, and now you're cute. Like it's like to other people, like I know that with previous people that I thought KJ doesn't understand, and I'm just like, you won't, because you didn't know him. But I'm just like,
I sure don't.
it's just.
I still question it to this day.
It blows a lot. Sometimes it blows me too, but it's just it starts inside and then it just it comes.
But it's like that with every relationship. You know, it's not something that everyone else is going to understand, and I think that's like people who are in interracial relationships are just like relationships of people that are not what they are. You have to realize yourself that everyone else is not going to understand, and everyone else who don't understand, you have to realize that there's something in that relationship that you don't understand. That something clicks between those two people. Doesn't matter if they're white, black, Asian, whatever. There's something between those two people that clicks, and whether you accept it or not, they're going to be happy. So you might as well just get on with your life and be happy for them.
And the same thing can be said for same-sex relationships. Like, you don't get like, oh, how could two men be together? Oh, how could two women be together? But it's like they obviously have something in common that draws them together, and they're not struck by their genitalia. Like they like people because they have stuff in common. They get along and they click. Like it is what it is.
And that's like a whole other conversation, because the thing that kills me with that is that people always go back to the Bible with that, and the reason why
everybody's Christian.
Exactly, and I think the thing that annoys me most with that is when people go back to the Bible, but then they'll go back to church and have a woman pastor, because in the Bible you're not supposed to have a woman pastor, right? But it's just like you accept that. It's like you pick and follow. Exactly, it's like if you're gonna follow the Bible, follow it all.
The prejudice stems more from the opposition than it does from those of whom we're actually doing it. So it's like you throw that prejudice on them, saying like you're like this, when in reality it's like, well, I'm quite the opposite.
In your mind, you try to say that, oh, I'm not accepting of this because of this and that, or because of the Bible, when it's really you. It's really you that's not okay with it. It's not the Bible. It's not your mom. It's not your cousin. It's not the library. It's you. And you need to fix yourself, or
recognize what it is.
Go in a hole and stay there.
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, like you just have to know. You have to know yourself and know like what your interests are and what you like and things like that. So that way you can find somebody that kind of matches that. They don't have to be like the same. Sometimes they just have to fit in between and be able to work together.
And in no way am I telling people that you have to accept these people. I'm not saying that because there are people that will say, how are you going to tell me that I have to? You don't have to accept them. You don't.
Just don't be disrespectful.
Yeah, but you also don't have to say something to them that you don't like.
Right.
Because the niggas say they don't like your face, and if you get mad at it, then oh well.
Just like that.
Because
just like that.
I think when people say something to people, they expect them to just take it
and not have anything to say back.
Yeah, and I was like, and when they have something to say back, or if they do something to you back, do not be surprised because you entered their space to insult them. So naturally, they're going to do the same.
It's becoming a part of their life that brings them joy. That's the part that I'm like, you're really telling somebody, like that's obviously a good part of it. Like I'm like, the amount of times that I've been attacked for being like in a relationship with like a white man, and they're like, oh, for real, you over there? Like, yes, I am. And I had a really cute date last night. I went ice skating. What did you do last night, Carol? Like, what did you do?
Carol, a real big man.
What did you do?
Let me know.
Sit by yourself and watch your Netflix with your ice cream? Yeah, that's what you did. Like, it's just like,
I bet you did.
It's like you just get so. I'm sorry. You were just sitting across from me. I didn't mean it at you.
I know that, Naomi.
I'm sorry.
I know that, Naomi.
I know you know.
Carol.
But it's just like, but it's just like what.
She's Carol now.
I will never.
I went to Netflix.
I mean, so
She's like, I just sat home and watched Netflix. You're right. How did you know?
I sat home and watched Netflix and ate like 2 pieces of cake, but it's fine. But it's just like, it's like you don't need to come out of your mouth and then like base it off of something so
insignificant.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that's what you're gonna come at my relationship for. That
exactly.
That.
I think the bottom line is know what you want, find somebody that matches that, and be happy with that person regardless of what the color of their skin is. And don't feel bad for liking a certain type of person, like because of the way they look. Like if you like dark eyes, and you like dark eyes. If you like blonde hair, you like blonde hair. If you like them thick, you like them thick with two Qs. Like do you? Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you prejudiced. You just have a preference. Like get over it.
Also, don't like on the flip side, don't go for people who only want to date people who are in their race. That's their preference as well. And whether it be they don't want to go outside of that, that's okay too. They
Let
can
them
only
stay in the box.
Yeah, they can only want to
Leave
stay
them
with
right
black
there.
people. They can only want to date white people. That is completely okay because there's always somebody for somebody else. Okay, you can have people who only want to date white people together, and that's great. They need to be together because they both only want to date white people. Or you can have black people doing the same way. They need to stay together. So it's okay. Don't criticize anyone for who they date because
And don't try to
for a
change
reason.
them. Like don't try to change
Yeah.
their preferences. Like if they like a certain type of thing, don't try to like persuade them. Be like, oh no, come back over here. Like
If they're happy,
just let them live their life.
Let them be happy.
I feel like that would just push me away more.
Right.
Yeah.
Like every time a black guy's been like, well, you don't like, I'm just like, the fact that you're talking to me, the tone at which you're talking to me, please leave. Like,
The fact that you're trying to change me, I don't even really know you like that.
So I'm gonna go over here with
Exit
the blonde. Like, it's just-
Alright guys, so this is the end of this video. I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching. Please make sure you comment down below. What do you think about interracial dating? What do you think about,
Your
preference
preferences.
versus
Prejudice.
Prejudice. There we go, that's what it is. And make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you can get notifications every time we post a new video. Bye guys.